Hello everyone, my name is Ssensalire Rajab. I want us to look at some of the formatting aspects that we may find in word processing that can make our document look professional. I've listed down the things we are going to look at. One of them is track changes, page breaks, section breaks, page numbering, automatic table of content, creating comments in a document, working with shapes, and then watermarks. Now this is a long list and someone would wonder how we can look at all that. I want to assure you that today we are going to look at them briefly using a case study of a mock paper from one of the examinations bodies we have in the country, that is Mcicrosoft. There's this paper of 2018. I'm going to use it as a guide to look at these aspects. However, in my next series I'll try to look at these aspects individually, one at a time, such that we can dig deeper into them. So let us get started. The paper looks like this, the one we are going to use. It is a mock paper just from Uganda Joint Mock Examinations Board 2018, and we are going to look at number 1. So the paper is saying that you can see that part A is saying, using a word processor application, load the file word.rtf and save it as your name and personal number. So let us go straight to the support files where we can find this file, such that we will get started. The support files are here, and the file they are talking about is here, word.rtf. So when we open this file, we can see that it has some content. However, they told us that we should save it as our name and personal number. In this case, I'll do save. Let me put my name and then personal number. When you are saving, don't forget to change the file extension from RTF, which is rich text format, to .doc or .docx. The reason as to why it is important to change from RTF to .doc or .docx is that RTF, since it is a rich text format which can be opened with most of the text editors and Microsoft Word as well, it will limit you with some formatting. There are formattings that we cannot have in a rich text format. So to be on a safe side, you always need to change your file extension to .doc or .docx. So let me save the file. You can see that now the file is saved as my name and then .docx. So let us continue with the questions. Next question says that turn on track changes. Turn on track changes. Now, track changes are found on the review menu. If you are using Office 2010 and above, track changes are found on the review menu. So when you go to the review menu, you go to the tracking section. We have various sections on the review menu. We have proofing, speech, etc. Some of these ones may not appear in your Word version. For example, the speech may not appear in Office 2016 and lower. This is Office 2019. So you don't need to worry that some of the things are not in your version. It's just the difference between the version. but what we are interested in right now is the tracking section. So this section has this part, the track changes. So when they tell you to track changes, you always switch on this button. You can see you simply click on it and then it will be switched on, meaning that from the time you turn on the track changes, each and every editing or formatting you will do in the document is going to be recorded. The computer will record the person who is making the change, will also record the time at which that change was made. So that is very, very important, more especially if we are working with documents which are going to be edited by various people, such that everyone, whoever gets the document to edit, can know what was changed by the other colleague, and you avoid repeating the same thing, or you avoid asking unnecessary questions. You just look at and see what was edited. Maybe to put it well, someone may need to know what exactly will be tracked. For example, let me assume that I've added here a sentence or my name. I've added my name here, and maybe let me assume that I've changed the word character to word. So I've removed character and I've put word. Let me say I've changed the formatting here and bolded. So what will happen? The computer has recorded all those changes I've made, and if for example you click in this line, the computer will show you what happened. You can see that this word was added in the document. Here it is showing that someone deleted this word and then added this word. When you come to this one, when you check this side, you can see that someone bolded this word. So that is basically what track changes is all about. It shows, it tracks the changes made in a document. So we are good to go. This was not part of the question. I was just showing you how track changes work, but the track changes we have turned them on as per the question in part B. When we move to part C, they are talking about insert 7 blank pages and paste a copy of the text you have typed. Insert 7 blank pages. So in that question, that's where we are going to look at the page breaks. Many times when someone is told to insert pages, what people will do, they will press enter as many times as possible, such that they create another page. But imagine now you are inserting so many pages. Pressing enter is so tiresome and time consuming, and on top of that it has consequences. For example, let me assume that I've copied this text right here just as they said, and I'm pasting it here on this page 2 created. So what will happen to this page when I've used the enter to insert another page? If I happen to edit or to add something here, for example, let me just create any list of words just like this. Look at what is happening on your text on the next page. It keeps on going down. It is being pushed down. Why? Because the computer is considering that you created some paragraphs in between here and you needed them. So the more you edit up here, the more your text will always move down, such that the space or the paragraphs which were created right here are kept in your document. So that's where So the difference between page break and pressing the enter button to create pages is this. When you have your document just like this in the normal way, it may be difficult for you to know that there is a difference, and some people think that when you press enter you are inserting a page, but the enter button is used to enter paragraphs. Whenever you press the enter button, you are inserting a paragraph in your document. For example, you can only tell that by activating the non-printable characters in your document. How do we activate the non-printable or hidden characters in our document? It's by going to the home menu, and then on the section of paragraph you click on the inverted P. So when you click on this inverted P, you can see that whenever you press enter, that paragraph mark, the inverted P is the paragraph mark, will be put in your document. So meaning that if I press enter here, that means I've created 3 paragraphs, 1, 2, 3. Therefore I'm going to remove this for now because it is unnecessary, and I want us to see how do we insert the paragraphs using page breaks. The page breaks are found on the layout menu, of your word processor. When you go to the layout menu here, under the section of page setup, we have breaks. In these breaks, we have the first part is page breaks. So if you want to break a page to the next page, you then click on page break, then page. So when you click here, you can see that the cursor will move straight from wherever it has been to the next page. So since they have told us to insert 7 blank pages, that is 1. When you click here, page break again, another one will be created. So you have created a second one. If this is difficult going here, you can always use a shortcut, which is Control Enter. So when you press Control Enter, you keep on inserting paragraphs. You keep on inserting page breaks. So we have our 7 pages, 7 blank pages created in our document using page breaks. Let me show you how you can tell that someone used the page break and not enter. When you go back to showing non-printable or hidden characters, you will see that wherever you press the page break, the computer shows page break. When I go to the next page, page break, page break. So in that way, you are good to go. Now they told us that we paste a copy of this document to those 7 pages we have created. So you highlight your text. Then copy it, and after copying it, you go ahead and paste it. On the created pages. Pasting, you can use a shortcut, Ctrl V, or you can use any other method by going to the home menu and click paste. It's all about you. So we have text pasted on all our pages. We can continue. Remember, we are looking at page break and then how to copy and paste work on various pages. So part D was asking about putting page numbers in this format, in this format on the first 3 pages, and then in this format of numbers on the other pages. So what does that mean? It calls us, or it takes us to the next part of our list, that is section breaks. In order for you to be able to have different page formattings in the same document, you need to create sections in your document. Those sections, when created in a document, will help you to look at various parts of that document independently. Meaning that, for example, they told us that the first 3 pages are going to have page numbers I1, I2, I3, like that. So let us put those page numbers. We are on the first page. When we go to the insert menu, under the section of headers and footers, we find the page numbers. They told us to put the pages at the bottom center, so we go bottom center. Now you can see that these pages are not the ones they have told for the first pages. They told us to use the format Roman numerals. So what do? You can either right click here in this page, or you can see that when we inserted the page numbers, we got another menu called the design menu under the headers and footers tools. So this menu comes simply because it's going to help you to edit or to work or to do any change with your headers and footers. And remember, the page numbers are found in either headers or footers. So let us go. We have selected the page, and then we come to this section. We have page numbers here. When you go to page numbers, you go to format page numbers, and then number format. They have told us to put this. Okay, so when you do that, you click OK. You can see that our page numbers have changed to Roman numerals. When you are done, you can now cross. So in this case, because we don't have sections in our document, it means that all pages contain Roman numerals. You can see I4, this is 5 in Roman numerals, and yet they told us to stop at I3, and then the rest of the pages contain numbers 1, 2. So what do? Starting from where our numbers, our I3, where we want to stop the first numbering format, we enter a section break at that page. So this is the page, that's where it ends. Right here we insert a section break such that we separate the lower part of the document from the upper part of that document, but within the same document. So still section breaks are found on the layout menu under the section of page setup from breaks. So this time not page breaks, but section breaks. When you go to section breaks, then you go to next page. So section break, next page. So here we are. The section break has been created. How do you know that the section break has been created? You activate the non-printable characters. So you can see that on this page we inserted the page break as well as the section break to the next page. Alright, so now we can come to this page. Instead of having it page 4, we are now going to have it, we are now going to change it by going to page number and then format. So instead of I, we go to 1, 2, 3. Now right here, page numbering, instead of continue from previous section, because if you say continue from previous section, this will become page 4 but in numbers. But for us, they told us, the question told us that it should start at 1. So you come here and say start at 1, start at 1. and then you click OK. So this page is now page 1. When you move down here, it is page 2, etc. But that does not mean that the pages at the top have changed. These ones have remained as I3, I2, etc. So we now have two page numbering formats in the same document. What has helped us to do that is having section breaks in our document. The next question was asking us to insert titles at the beginning of each document, at the beginning of each page, starting with page I2, and use them to create a table of content. The headings they are telling us to insert are here. So you are going to give me a second, and then I insert these headings in our document here, such that we continue. Okay, so I've finished putting the headings they have told us on our on all the pages. These are the headings as per the question right here. It told us to put these headings in our document and use them to create a table of content. So how do we create a table of content? Remember, a table of content should always appear before the main content of the document. Therefore, even if they don't tell us that put the table of content on this page, we definitely know that the table of content will go to page 2 of our document, assuming that page 1 is now the title page or the cover page. Therefore, page 2 should contain the table of content. Why? Because the table of content is a reference. It's what you are going to use to see what is inside the document. You look at it and know that the executive summary is found on this page. This is found on this page. That's why it should appear before the body or the main content of your document. So we shall put our table of content right here on this page. But before we put the table of content, we need to identify those headings we need to appear in our table of content. How do we identify those headings? By going to the home menu under the section of styles. So whatever you want to appear in the table of content, you need to give it a heading, either a heading style, either heading 1, heading 2, or heading 3. So how do you tell that this is heading 1, this is heading 2, this is heading 3, etc. Heading 1 is the main heading or the title of the topic, and then heading 2 is the sub-topic, etc, etc. For example, if you are writing a book and you have a topic about computer software, so computer software will become heading 1 because it is the major topic. Then under computer software, you may have system software as a subtopic. So system software will be heading 2. Application software will be heading 2 still, because they are at the same level. Now under system software, still you may have the operating system, the programming languages, utility programs. So those are under system software. Therefore, if you want them to appear in the table of content, then you give them heading 3, because they are under heading 2, which is system software, which is under heading 1, which is computer software. Let me hope you are getting it. So this is going to appear in our table of content. Therefore, we come to styles and then click heading 1. It is going to be heading 1. Then this one, you don't need to select the entire word or phrase. So long as the cursor is on that line, the computer will apply the style to the entire phrase or sentence. So these ones are the ones which are going to appear in our table of content. Someone may ask, why is it turning to blue color and a different font? Maybe you may want to use Times New Roman, and this one is changing to a different font. You don't need to worry. Even if you have put them like this and then a different color, you can always change them without wasting a lot of time. This is how you do it. You can change this formatting. So we have this heading 1 here. What you do, you right click the style and then say modify. When you say modify, you start to identify what font do you want to use for heading 1. You can say, I want to use Times New Roman. Do you want it bold? Yes, I want it bold. In which color do you want it to be? You select the color. Maybe you can say automatic, which is black. Then you can change the line spacing, the alignment, etc. It's all about you. So when you are done, since we have already applied these ones and they are in blue, you come here and say automatically update, such that I don't need to go back to each and every heading and I change the same. So when I click here, the computer will change all of them automatically to what I've done, just like that. So we have finished to identify all the headings we want to appear in our table of content. Next is very easy. It's just for you to put the table of content, and it's just a click away and the computer will do the rest. Where do we find table of content? We find the table of content, since we say that it is a reference, we refer to it. We find it in on the references menu. On the references menu, the first section is table of contents. So you come here and say table of content and then select the style you want. I'll take this one, which has the heading table of content. When I click there, the computer will do the rest. You can see that whatever I highlighted in my styles as a heading, it has come to this table of content. So executive summary is on page I2. Reactions to the minutes is on page 4. So when you are reading the document electronically, you don't need to scroll to find this. You simply hold down the control button and click on the heading you want, and the computer will take you straight to that heading. Even if there are 1,000 pages and you want to go to page 999, you simply hold down the control button on the when you are at the table of content, and then click on the heading where you want to go. The computer will take you there automatically. So basically this is how the automatic table of content is created. Some of the advantages of using automatic table of content is that when you change the pages, the table of content will change automatically. For example, if I'm to take this to the next page, you can see that it has been on page 2, I2. So if I take it to the next page, that means all the pages have changed now. What was on page 5 is no longer on page 5. So what happens? You can see here it's not yet updated, but if I try to close this document, it will be updated automatically. But if not, you can as well update it by yourself before even closing. How do you do that? When you click on the table of content, you can see this. It is saying update table. So when you click here, update table, it will ask you, what do you want to update? Do you want to update the page numbers only or the entire table? So you can say update the entire table, and you can now see that everything has changed. Let me hope that is clear now. So let us move to the next part. The next part was talking about creating a comment on the last paragraph of page 4. saying that there is need to review this paragraph. So comments like this are also necessary when you are working on a document, when you are different people working on the same document. That at times you have to leave these comments for the next person who is going to review the document to consider. So they told us to go to page 4. Where is page 4? This is 2. Page 4, which is here on the last paragraph. This paragraph, that's where they want us to create the comment. How do you create a comment? You highlight the words or the paragraph they have told you to put a comment, and then because this is for reviewing, you want someone who is going to review to see this comment. We find the comments on the review menu. So when you go to the review menu, we have a section for comments, and then you say add new comment. When you add new comment, they give you where to type that comment. So my comment, they told me to put there is need to review this paragraph. So you are done. Now this comment will remain there. If someone else is editing this document, will find this, and once you click here, the computer will show you what is implied by that comment. So that's how we insert comments in our document. Okay. Next, they talked about drawing these shapes. Drawing these shapes. There is this facsimile and then the call out. These shapes can they told us to draw on the last page. So let us go to the last page of our document here, and that's where we are going to draw those shapes. To draw the shapes, we go to the insert menu. In the insert menu, we go to shapes. They are under the illustrations section. So shapes, and then you look for the shape you want. This time I want the smiley face. Come here and draw. Now when you are drawing a shape, you can see that it may lose its it may not be perfect. So how do we draw a perfect shape? You draw while holding down the shift button. Even if a shape is like this, the moment you press shift, you can see that it becomes proportional. So you always draw your shape while holding the shift button. That works to any shape. Many times people draw lines. I want a straight line, and then we draw it like this. But you can see that when I press the shift, the line will become horizontal. If it is vertical, still if it is a little bit skewed, when you hold down the shift, it will be straightened. So the shift button is very important when you are drawing these shapes. So this shape, according to the question, you can see that it has a gloomy face, and the outline are thick, and it doesn't have the blue color inside. So when you come here, you also have to do that. When you draw a shape, you get a new menu which is called the format menu under the drawing tools. This format menu has come to help you deal with this shape. So after drawing it, under the shape styles, we have the shape fill. This will help you to change the color inside your shape. In this case, my shape was in blue color, and I don't want the blue color. I don't want any color inside. So I'll say no fill. This is also very important. Many times someone may want to draw a text box here. Let's say someone may want to draw a text box here, there was, and what will happen? Or someone wants to label this shape right here, and what will happen when you draw the text box? It will have a color inside. So what happens? You can see that it is covering your shape. So what people do, they would extend this, and you can see now it is far away from the shape which you are labeling. So you don't need to worry, you leave your text box right there, but remember that the reason as to why it is covering your other shape which you are labeling is that it has a color inside it. It has a white color inside it. So what you need to do is to go to the shape fill and say that I don't want any fill inside. So you remove the fill. And then you go to the shape outline and say, still I don't want any outline for that shape. Now you have your label straight to the diagram. I think that one was also worth noting, though it wasn't part of the question. So our shape here, it has a black outline, and the outline is a little bit thick, so you come to the weight and then make it a little bit thicker. This face is happy, and yet the one in the question is gloomy. So what do? You use the yellow dot. Whenever you draw a shape and it has that yellow dot, just know that that shape can be transformed into a different shape. For instance, if I draw this arrow right here, you can see that I have two yellow dots, meaning that I can change this arrow just like this or like this using that yellow shape. I can change this one like this or like this using the yellow shape. So these yellow dots are very, very important when we are working with shapes in Microsoft Word. So even our face here, to change it from happy face to gloomy face, you use the yellow dot and then shift it. So you can see that it is now just like the way it is in the question. Next, they want us to put this call out. The call out, still we go to the shapes on the insert menu and then go to the call out section, which is down here, and then look for the one we have used. Draw it accordingly, and then use the yellow shape still to have it extend to the face. Our call out it has words that I'm afraid. I'm not going to type, let me just copy them. I'm afraid I might fail this one. These words, when you look at this, they are in Times New Roman bold. So I'm changing the font to Times New Roman, and then the call out according to the question, these words are in the call out has no color inside, so we come to the format and we say shape fill, no fill, and then the outline is black, whereas the weight of the line is a little bit thicker. What has happened to our text? We are not seeing it. Why? Because the text was in white color and the paper is also white, therefore we can't see the text. We need to go back and change the font color to black, and then we shall have our text right there. So what next? That is not enough. Whenever you draw your shapes, always don't leave your shapes before grouping them. If you leave your shapes ungrouped just like this, at one time you'll find that as you press enter or as you keep on editing, some of them are moving and they are leaving their patterns. So what we do whenever we finish drawing our shapes, go to the home menu under the editing section and then say select objects. Drag around your objects, and then on the format menu, group the objects such that they become, now this is one object, it will be moving as one object, just like that. I think we are done with that. Next, they talked about inserting a watermark of our name. Watermarks are found on the design menu. If you are using Office, 2019, 2016, and I think 2013. 2013, I'm not so sure, I don't remember very well whether it has the design menu. But if it doesn't have the design menu, like 2013 and 2010, then in 2007, the watermarks are found on the layout, on the page layout. It is called page layout in those versions. But in Office 2016 and above, it is on the design menu. So you click on the design menu and then come to watermarks. Watermarks, you go to custom, because they have not told you to put those ones which are there. They have told you to put your name. So you go to custom and then text watermark here. Then they tell you to type the text here which you want. So it is my name and then the personal number. And then when you are done, if they have not talked about changing the font, you can leave that. They have not talked about the size, they have not talked about the color, you can leave that. But if they have talked about that, you can change them accordingly. When you are done, you say OK, and the watermark will appear in your document. Last year they told us to print a hard copy. That one you can print. So basically that's how we can deal. We have managed to look at this list: track changes, page breaks, section breaks, page numbering, automatic table of contents, creating comments, drawing or working with shapes, and then a watermark. I thank you very much for watching. I hope to record more videos, particularly looking at these sections one at a time, and more other important aspects in Microsoft Word and other applications like Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Access, and Microsoft Publisher. I'll first look at those programs before we shall move to other specialized programs. Thank you very much. Have a nice time.